back to our channel. Today we are going to start a lumbar plexus and cutaneous innervation of our thigh, leg and also sole of foot. So let's start with lumbar plexus. So you can see that the lumbar plexus is mainly formed by L1, L2, L3 and L4. So this four together, these are the root values actually, L1, L2, L3, 4. So this four will form different types of nerves. Let us see what are those. So first you have L1 and you have its two branches. One is the iliohypogastric nerve and one is the ilioinguinal nerve. So from the L1 root you will get two nerves, that is iliohypogastric nerve and ilioinguinal nerve. So there is one twig which is coming from L1 and another twig which is coming from L2. So the two twigs from L1 and L2 together form one more nerve, that is called as genitofemoral nerve. So this genitofemoral nerve root value is L1 and L2, and this mainly forms a cremasteric reflex. So what is the root value of cremasteric reflex? The nerve which is involved, that is a L1 and L2, that is a genitofemoral nerve which is involved in cremasteric reflex. So now coming to the other root values like L2, L3, L4, actually they have two divisions. One is the ventral division and one is the dorsal division. So mainly from L2 ventral division, L3 ventral division, L4 ventral division, there forms another nerve that is called as obturator nerve. And from L2, L3, L4 dorsal division, you will get one more nerve that is called as femoral nerve. So in total you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So total 5 nerves are coming from our lumbar plexus. So these are very important nerves and the root values are also very important. So remember, from L1 you will get two nerves, there is iliohypogastric nerve and ilioinguinal nerve. From L1 twig and from L2 twig you get one more nerve, that is the genitofemoral nerve which is involved in cremasteric reflex. From L2, L3, L4 you have the ventral division and also dorsal division. So ventral division of L2, L3 and L4 form obturator nerve, whereas dorsal division of L2, L3 and L4 form the femoral nerve. So these are the different nerves which are formed by lumbar plexus. So this one, the same thing, let us observe in a real diagram, like this is actually a line diagram. So let us observe it in a real diagram to understand it more clearly. So here in this diagram you can clearly observe the lumbar plexus. So let us try to understand. You can see here it's mentioned the yellow color represents the anterior division and the green color represents the posterior division. So you can see here this is L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. So mainly as we discussed before, from L1 and from L2 the twig comes and forms a genitofemoral nerve. And the first one is, from the L1 it forms the two nerves, that is the iliohypogastric nerve and the ilioinguinal nerve, which are coming from L1, and the twig from L1 and twig from L2 together form the genitofemoral nerve which is involved in cremasteric reflex, right? And from L2, L3, L4 especially they have ventral division and dorsal division, right? Here you can see the yellow one represents the anterior division and the green one represents the posterior division or the dorsal division, right? So first let us see the ventral division. From L2, L3, L4 you can see this is the ventral division which is forming a obturator nerve over here. You can see here clearly, right? This one is the obturator nerve, this one, okay? And from the ventral division of L2, L3, L4 ventral division you are getting obturator nerve, whereas from L2, L3, L4 dorsal division, that is this one, L2, L3, L4, it is forming a femoral nerve. You can see here clearly. So by this diagram you will get a clear idea of the lumbar plexus, the different nerves. And if you see, there are some other nerves which are mainly like the lumbosacral trunk, okay, which is mainly formed from L4 and L5 together form a lumbosacral trunk, and which is also involved in the sacral plexus, okay. And if you see L4, the L4 is involved in both the lumbar plexus and the sacral plexus, right? So it is also called as nervi furcalis, okay, nervi furcalis. L4 is called nervi formicalis because it is involved in lumbar plexus, and it is also involved in sacral plexus. Okay, so hence this trunk name is also lumbosacral trunk because L4 and L5 together form. And you can see some extra nerves over here, that is the accessory obturator nerve. Accessory obturator nerve is coming from anterior division of L3 and L4. Okay, so L3 and L4 anterior division form the accessory obturator nerve. Okay, and you'll also see one other nerve, that is lateral femoral cutaneous nerve over here, you can see, which is mainly coming from L2 and L3 dorsal divisions. So L2 and L3 dorsal divisions mainly form the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. And you can also see here two psoas and iliacus. That is our femoral nerve. You can see the femoral nerve is coming from L2, L3 posterior division, right? So that also gives one branches to psoas and iliacus muscles. So here you can see L4 and L5 together form the lumbosacral trunk, and that is involved in sacral plexus. Okay, so as L4 is involved in both lumbar and sacral plexus, it is also called as nervi formicalis. And there are some other points, like here you can see the femoral nerve pass between the psoas major and iliacus. I'll show this by means of diagram to understand this. So in this diagram you can clearly see the posterior abdominal wall, and here you can see this is the lumbar plexus. So this one is L1, and L1 will divide into two parts, you know, that is iliohypogastric nerve and ilioinguinal nerve, right? This one. And here you can see the twig from L1 and twig from L2 together form the genitofemoral nerve, which is involved in the cremasteric reflex, right? And so this is L1, this is L2. So you can see L2 ventral division and L2's dorsal division over here. So you know L2, L3, L4 ventral division will form the obturator nerve. Here it's mentioned, you can see this side. So this is obturator nerve. This obturator nerve, you can see it is passing by means of obturator foramen, right? And you know L2, L3, L4's dorsal division will form a femoral nerve. You can see here this side they are showing this one. The femoral nerve, you can see it is passing below the inguinal ligament. Actually inguinal ligament is coming from anterior superior iliac spine to, you can see here, pubic crest. So it is below. So below this you can see nerve which is, that is a femoral nerve. Here you can see clearly. So mainly if you observe the nerve like femoral nerve which is passing between, you can see this is the psoas major muscle and this is the iliacus muscle. So between the psoas major and iliacus muscle the femoral nerve is passing, whereas you can see one nerve, that is the genitofemoral nerve, which is mainly piercing the psoas major muscle. So you can see it's clearly mentioned, this is psoas major muscle and this is the iliacus muscle. So between the psoas major and iliacus muscle the femoral nerve passes, whereas the genitofemoral nerve pierces the psoas major muscle and it also passes below the inguinal ligament, as you can see here, right? And if you observe the lateral femoral nerve over here, this one, the lateral femoral nerve also passes below the inguinal ligament, right? So what all the nerves are passing below the inguinal ligament? Of course, the first one is femoral nerve, and the next one is our genitofemoral nerve, and the other one is a lateral femoral nerve. So if you observe, all these three nerves have the name, in their name they have femoral. So in all those three nerves you can see the name femoral. So remember, all the femoral nerves pass below the inguinal ligament, and of course the obturator nerve pass by the obturator foramen. It is very simple to remember. Now let us discuss some details of genitofemoral nerve, as it passes below the inguinal ligament and mainly supplies the lateral aspect of the thigh. So according to the name you can see lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. So lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, it passes below the inguinal ligament. In the name itself you can see lateral femoral, so it supplies a lateral part of your thigh. So actually you can see here the lateral, not this one. You can see here the lateral femoral nerve, it passes behind the inguinal ligament and mainly supplies the lateral aspect of the thigh. Okay, so next coming to a clinical condition called meralgia paresthesia, where if the lateral femoral cutaneous nerve is irritated because of inguinal ligament, any, when it touches or something, whenever it gets irritated, then it causes loss of sensation over lateral aspect of thigh, of course, because this lateral femoral cutaneous nerve supplies lateral part of thigh, right? So if there is any disturbance over here, then of course there will be loss of sensation in lateral aspect of thigh, and this is called as meralgia paresthesia. Now let us see the cutaneous innervation of lower limb. So for this also I have a diagram. So you can see here this diagram. According to this, let us understand. So first understand this diagram. This is the anterior view. Of course this diagram is not perfect. This is the anterior view of your leg, and this is your posterior view. How you can see it's anterior posterior? You can see here this is a sole and this is a dorsum of the foot. So this is the anterior side and this is the posterior side of your leg, like whole leg. Okay, so let us discuss about this. So first we'll discuss about the thigh region, anterior side. If you see thigh, the lateral aspect, this is the lateral side, this is the medial side, right? So the lateral aspect of the thigh is mainly supplied by lateral femoral cutaneous nerve. Even on this side, lateral side, of course on posterior side also it is supplied by lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, just now we discussed. And the anterior aspect of the thigh is mainly supplied by anterior femoral nerve. Okay, and if you see the medial aspect of the thigh, it is supplied by obturator nerve. Even here also on the medial side it will be supplied by obturator nerve. And remember, anterior side, anterior portion, it's supplied by anterior femoral nerve, right? So same like for posterior, as it is posterior side middle part, posterior side is supplied by posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, but here it is cutaneous nerve, and that too it is a branch from sacral plexus. So remember, anterior side it is supplied by anterior femoral nerve, but posterior side it is supplied by posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, and that too it is a branch from sacral plexus. So that thing you need to remember. So this is about thigh. So once again let us revise. In thigh, lateral part supplied by lateral femoral cutaneous nerve, anterior middle part supplied by anterior femoral nerve, posterior middle part supplied by posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, which is coming from sacral plexus, and of course the medial part is supplied by obturator nerve. So this is a cutaneous supply of thigh. Now let us move on to the leg. So in the leg, the medial aspect of the leg, if you see the medial aspect of the lung, it is mainly supplied by saphenous nerve. You know, saphenous nerve is the longest cutaneous nerve of our body. Okay, and this saphenous nerve is also of course a branch of femoral nerve. So medial aspect of thigh, either on anterior side or posterior side, it is supplied by saphenous nerve. And coming to lateral aspect of thigh, it is supplied, lateral aspect especially upper part is supplied by common peroneal nerve. Okay, lateral aspect is supplied by common peroneal nerve, either like on anterior side or posterior side. On posterior side also lateral side supplied by common peroneal nerve. Now coming to the lower part, lateral side, anterior aspect, it is supplied by superficial peroneal nerve. Actually it supplies entire dorsum of the foot except the first web space. You can see this first web space is supplied by deep peroneal nerve. Okay, so this one you need to remember. So entire dorsum and also lateral side lower part completely supplied by superficial peroneal nerve except the first web space, which is supplied by the deep peroneal nerve. Okay, now coming to the one more thing, superficial, and remember that the superficial and deep peroneal nerve both are nothing but coming from the common peroneal nerve itself. So they are the branches of common peroneal nerve. So lateral aspect of upper part of leg is supplied by of course common peroneal nerve, just now I said, and the lower part is supplied by now let us discuss on posterior side. On posterior side, lateral side also supplied by common peroneal nerve, whereas on posterior side, if you see especially the lower lateral part, it is supplied by sural nerve. In anterior side, lower lateral part supplied by superficial peroneal nerve. On posterior side, lower lateral part supplied by sural nerve. Okay, and heel, especially this heel area is supplied by tibial nerve, and the sole is supplied by medial and lateral plantar nerve. This is medial side, right? So it is supplied by medial plantar nerve, and this part is supplied by lateral plantar nerve. So this medial and lateral plantar nerve are in turn branches of a tibial nerve. Okay, so tibial nerve supplies heel, and sole is supplied by medial and lateral plantar nerves. Okay, so by this we have completed the cutaneous supply of anterior side and posterior side of a whole leg. That is about thigh we have discussed, about leg we have discussed, about sole and dorsum of foot we have discussed. Now one more thing is about posterior femoral cutaneous nerve. It not only supplies the posterior middle part of the thigh, it also supplies of course some part of buttock region. It also supplies scrotum in the case of male, and also supplies the upper part here the upper part of popliteal fossa. You can see here clearly. So it is supplying upper part of popliteal fossa, a middle part on posterior side of thigh, and also to the buttock region in the case of male to the scrotum. So by this we have completed this chapter. So by this video I think you have understood about the lumbar plexus and different important points related to it, and also we have discussed the cutaneous innervation of whole lower limb.